St. Luke's Lutheran School. In 1944, Pastor Toohey began a nursery school for ages 3 to 5. He began by collecting the preschoolers and instructing them in Bible studies, music, and the Slovak language. In 1947, the congregation called its first teacher, Miss Dorothy Daniel, and the school officially began with 12 students in one room that was added to the old church. She taught grades 1, 2, 3, and 5. By the second year, enrollment at the school, now known as St. Luke's Christian Day School, almost doubled. Miss Daniel continued her work in that one room with all grades. In 1949, a new two-winged school building with an auditorium was built at a cost of $40,000. Miss Marcella Rubis and Miss Ruth Froming taught all 8 grades. By the third year of operation, the school program had expanded to cover 34 students with those 2 teachers. Each teacher was teaching several grades in one room. In 1950, kindergarten through grade 6 were taught by Miss Eleanor Junis and Miss Marion Stanko. Enrollment climbed to 37 students. By 1951, school enrollment was 50. Classes were taught by Miss Junis and Miss Betty Balanchek Duda, a student teacher from Chicago. The school kept growing by leaps and bounds. Our first principal and male teacher, Mr. Elmer Bellhorn, came in 1952, and Miss Emmeline Best also joined the faculty that year. The school produced its first operetta, In the Land of Dreams Come True. The whole community and surrounding areas attended, with 208 people attending and the whole school body of 54 students performing. The first graduation ceremony was held in 1953. Members of the class were Ferdinand Duda, Raymond Mickler, Luther Duda, Elena Toohey, and Irene Vizdak. Miss Vera Fabry joined the staff, and the school chorus began recording songs that year that were broadcast on the radio. St. Luke's Christian Day School continued to increase, so in 1954, another wing was added to accommodate the growing enrollment. Mr. Stephen Sidlick was added to the faculty. Miss Judy DeCoste, Duda, was called in 1958. In 1961, after 15 years in operation, we had 150 students, 8 grades and a kindergarten, 2 called teachers, and 3 lay teachers. By 1967, Pastor Toohey saw the church grow to a membership of 500, and the school's enrollment increased to more than 350 students in kindergarten through 9th grade. St. Luke's school enrollment continued to climb rapidly, requiring many new staff positions and the construction of additional classrooms. Elmer Bellhorn guided the school through tremendous growth since his arrival as its first principal. Miss Peggy Bache Lucas was called in 1971. In 1974, the East Junior High building was added with 5 classrooms and bathrooms. In 1976, the school welcomed Bob Flesh as its new principal, while Mr. Bellhorn continued to enjoy teaching until his final retirement. In 1979, the new gymnasium and athletic track were constructed. Founders Hall, built at a cost of almost $500,000 and dedicated to the early settlers who founded the church, offered space for the new school curriculum and congregational activities. The school continued to expand and began using classrooms in the church sanctuary that was constructed in 1993. Within a few years, it became apparent that a new school building was needed. A year after the groundbreaking ceremony in the spring of 2000, the 2-story school building was ready for occupancy. St. Luke's teachers welcomed students to their beautiful new classrooms in August 2001. This new preschool through 8th grade building was finished and held 665 students at a cost of just over $8 million. It was exciting for the school to have classrooms specifically dedicated for science, art, and technology. The preschool program, started in 2001, grew tenfold, from 20 students to more than 200 within a decade. bringing total school enrollment to over 700 students in 2012. The preschool program began as a single classroom in the new school building in 2001, then moved to the old school after the first couple of years and expanded. The Lutheran Haven Daycare program was merged into our preschool in 2007 and moved completely to our campus in 2012. The entire original school building was eventually filled with preschool classrooms. It is now affectionately called Slavia Square. The real history of this school, though, is not about land or buildings. Over the last 75 years, thousands of students have come here to grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. More than 200 teachers have led students through lessons of all kinds. Many things have changed over 75 years, but reading, writing, math, science, PE, art, music, geography, history, social studies, English, Spanish, and religion classes have taken place every year. Students have done homework, and more homework. Recess has almost always been one of the favorite times of day. Field trips have always been a part of the school year. In the early days, it might have been a trip to the store to pick up supplies. Local trips to universities, theaters, racetracks, and historic places have always been educational. Longer trips from the Florida Keys to St. Augustine to Washington, D.C. are highly anticipated and prized. Choir, drama, and band are favorites now and were part of the early years as well. The whole community of Slavia may have attended a play. School choirs would sing at worship services and local events, just like today. The love of sports hasn't changed much over these years either. Basketball, volleyball, track, football, soccer, it really doesn't matter to the students who love their time on the court, the track, and the field. Competing locally in season and always looking forward to the Lutheran athletic competitions for year-end regional and state competitions. Basketball teams have even traveled to the national tournament on occasion. All of those things are still not the most important part of these 75 years. The Lord has blessed St. Luke's in many ways, but nowhere more obvious than all of the relationships that have formed. The friendship of classmates that may last a year or a lifetime. Teacher-student relationships that help to mold a child into the person who God is making them to be. Relationships between families that continue for generations. And still there is more. The school has been and continues to be a place where the message of Jesus Christ is spoken every day. A place where faith is taught, caught, and nurtured. A place where His love is poured into others who have taken it into the world. It is life at its best, knowing that God created us, loves us, sent His one and only Son to save us, and sends His Holy Spirit to work in us each and every day. This is St. Luke's Lutheran School. We don't know much about the early years of Jesus' life, but Luke 2:52 tells us that Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. Our congregation prays that all the students now and into the future will grow in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. Thanks be to God for these 75 years of blessings.